The Gallente Federation, Ishtar, ever popular among ratters across New Eden and referred to frequently by the moniker of Isktar for its ability to print seemingly endless Isk in the hands of those gifted pilots capable of not falling asleep whilst flying it. But this isn't New Eden, this is Anoikis, and my mission has been to undock all of the heavy assault cruisers and find a single fit for them that can run all the C3 combat sites. I'm not a fan of drones, and neither of the sleepers, which would provide a unique challenge on this particular vessel, and the last time I undocked it for this channel, I was wholly unimpressed by it. I knew this was going to be a challenge. But I've learnt a lot since then. A lot of people in my comment section have made suggestions on how the Ishtar could be changed in order to fly through C3 combat sites. Perhaps I could find a way to make this work then. Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and this is the Gallente Federation Ishtar. Ultimately, I've been running a little mini-series on this channel where I take each of the heavy assault cruisers out into C3 J-space systems. I try to find one fit that will successfully rat all 4 of the combat sites. So far, long-term viewers of this channel will know only one ship has let me down on that, by only managing to get 3 out of the 4. Spoiler alert, the Ishtar absolutely let me down even further. No matter what I did, I could only get this to run one site and only the one site. This could only run the Fortification Frontier Stronghold, it could not run the Aruz, it could not run the Outpost Frontier, it could not run the Solar Cell. Now, I don't want to just sit here and crap all over the Ishtar. I think that'd be a really boring video. So instead, I'm going to talk you through the process that I went through trying to fit this, having a look at different options, and we're going to talk about why this doesn't work, and why you're stuck basically ratting the one site that everyone rats in C3s. We'll talk about how you can work with this if the Ishtar is the ship you really want to use, but we are going to be open and honest about this. Now, if you do enjoy this video, please let me know. Hit like and drop a comment down below. Both of those take you a couple of seconds and really help the channel out. But if you do want to go the extra mile to support me and help me keep making content like this, I have a Patreon page, a Redbubble merchandise store, and a PayPal tip jar. Now, the Patreon as well, you get your name in the credits at the end of every single video that I make while you are subscribed and pledged to Patreon, plus a few other perks like little blog entries and stuff like that. So do check that out. All of that said and done then, let's jump right into talking about the Gallente Federation's Ishtar Heavy Assault Cruiser and why this just doesn't work for J-Space. Now, I have already done a video on this channel talking about the Ishtar ratting Fortification Frontier Strongholds, and ultimately, if you're looking just to see how to get this ship up and running, that video will showcase it. What I wanted to do though was, because I was doing this one fit for all 4 of the C3 sites with all of the different heavy assault cruisers, I wanted to revisit the Ishtar, because I had a lot of people put comments on that video and explain that, oh, maybe you could try this or maybe you could try that, and so I wanted to address those and talk about it. If you're looking for a deep dive into the Ishtar and how to get it up and running, go check out that other video. I will put a link in the description, and I'll try to remember putting it as a card on screen now that you can click. But if you want to see why this doesn't run the other sites, well, that's what we're going to talk about here. We're not going to look at the fit, we're not going to look too much at the traits and descriptions, just where it's relevant to what this ship does. Now, ultimately, essentially, we've said yes, this can run the Fortification Frontier Stronghold. The Ishtar has just enough survivability to survive the minimum amount of damage that that site can put out. We have enough capacitor stability. I know you can see in the background there it's saying depletes, but once we simulate it and turn off the shield booster, we are cap stable. We can run the Fortification Frontier Stronghold site. I would say the Ishtar is not even the best at running that particular site because it really struggles to handle it. Especially some of the bigger shots coming in from like the battleships in the 3rd wave really do a lot of damage to the Ishtar. You are heavily reliant on your ability to signature tank. The fact that this is a relatively small ship, that is what you are relying on here. That essentially things are just going to miss you. So you're going to keep up your transversal velocity and just keep moving and hope that things are missing you and not doing all that much damage to you. The trouble is, that only works in the Fortification Frontier Stronghold. The second you go into an Aruz construct, you are just neutered out by the 1st wave. The Solar Cell and the Outpost Frontier, you do not have the survivability at all to survive the amount of heavy turrets and battleships in them. They just wreck you in seconds. And I've tried everything with this, genuinely every single thing. The only fit that actually works at all is the one that I showcased before. It'll run Fortification Frontier Strongholds, but beyond this, nothing. I've tried with sentry drones sitting and sniping, and it's all very well and good until all of the little frigates get right up close and your sentry drones can't handle it. You then have to swap to your other drones and it takes ages to kill those. Drone aggro becomes a thing and you just lose everything. I've tried the just fly around version. I've tried swapping out high slots for blasters for extra DPS. I've tried swapping the high slots for railguns for extra DPS and trying to take out the smaller, faster targets quickly and efficiently early on. None of that worked. I've tried this shield tanking fit, and this one runs the Fortification Frontier Stronghold. I've tried running armor tank fits, but the DPS is just pathetic at that point. It's just not a good ship for this. Absolutely, the Ishtar is amazing in K-Space, I understand that. You can take it into level 4 or even higher agent missions, it's great for DED ratting in nullsec. It is the lazy boys ISK printer. You can drop this into a site and then basically just AFK, go put the kettle on, go watch a film and then come back an hour later and you'll have finished. That doesn't work in J-Space. That simply doesn't work. And believe me, I spoke to dozens of people running the Ishtar about trying to get this up and running. I looked on Zed Killboard, I looked on Eve Workbench, I've spoken to people on Reddit, all over the place. This fit works for the Fortification Frontier Stronghold, but literally nothing works for the remainder. The other 3 sites are just too much for the Ishtar. Because when we look at the Ishtar's bonuses here, that drone operation range, awesome, great for sniping and keeping the Ishtar at a safe distance. Except your drones will get ripped apart by anything and everything because sleepers have heavy drone aggro. The sentry drone optimal range and tracking speed helps, certainly, and if you're lucky you might take out some of the frigates that you're handling whilst the Ishtar just runs off to a safe space and tries to maintain range against everything. But then you just have this moment where everything there starts struggling and not hitting things like the frigates, or things start doing wrecking shots to you even at long range like the battleships and turrets. So being able to sit at range doesn't really help either. The heavy drone maximum velocity and tracking speed, light drone, medium drone, heavy drone hit points and damage, sentry drone hit points and damage, it's all really nice stuff that works really well for K-Space ratting. Unfortunately, it simply does not work for J-Space. I was going to film some combat demonstrations here, but ultimately just to prove the nightmare that is the Ishtar for me, the 2.5 hour long piece of content that I'd done for that, where I lost 3 Ishtars trying a ruse and outpost frontiers and solar cells, got corrupted. That is how much I hate this ship and how much my computer hates this ship. Although, actually, that's not fair. I don't hate this ship. It just sucks for J-Space ratting, so I've got a personal vendetta against it because it's just been a rough time for me trying to fly it. Honestly, if you want to do this one-size-fits-all thing, the Ishtar simply cannot do it. That's the bottom line. I could not find a single fit that would run the other 3 sites, let alone run them well, let alone something that would do the Arus and the Outpost with the different needs and requirements of those. So no, it's just not possible with the Ishtar. But maybe you've got a fit that I haven't thought of. I'd love to see it in the comment section down below if you've got a fit that will run all 4 of the C3 combat sites. But believe me, no one I spoke to thought it was even possible. And having spent weeks trying to get this thing working, yeah, no, I don't think it's possible either. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, happy sailing and see you in New Eden.